All of it's fake. And I'll be honest, I've had my suspicions over the years, but now that everyone's getting arrested and it's all coming undone, so many people are involved in this because there's so much money in this. But people keep sending me messages in there. I was having a conversation with one of my good friends. Now, back in LA, he and I used to run poker games during the lockdown. We would have house games, and celebrities would come to the games, and we would have a great time. There was nothing to do; everything was closed. And I've been to Gilbert Arenas' game before, and some of the other people. I try to tell people it's not necessarily about money. When you see these NBA players getting paid 20, 30 million dollars for 4 years or whatever, that money, for one thing, it's taxed. So they're not getting all of that money. But for two, it's only the money part. When it comes to gambling, money isn't the cure. Money can't solve the gambling problem a man has, or anybody has. A lot of women have it too. They sit there on those slot machines for hours, for days. They don't sleep. When you have the green eye, it's an addiction. So people keep thinking, oh, well, he makes all this money. Why does he need to gamble? It's the adrenaline rush. It's that suspense of not knowing if it's going to go through. But with a lot of these guys, they were cheating not just their friends, but they were cheating their fans. When it came to the poker game, they were charging people to come play with some of their favorite NBA players. These men had no idea they were using phones and marked cards and all this other tricky bullshit. No one knew. I've had my suspicions because I was like, I remember, some years ago when Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, they had this amazing squad on the Oklahoma City team. And I remember they were in my eyes, they were going to win the championship. And then I remember I was like, wait a minute. Did they just throw the last? Because I remember they threw, like the last game they were supposed to win, and then they just threw it. And then later that night, I see that they're out at the club partying, and I'm like, didn't you just lose? Like, what are y'all celebrating? Now we know. See, life is not all about money. It's also about fun and having excitement. Knowing that you're doing something like this and you're being sneaky, for some people, that's also it's a rush. It's a dopamine hit. Being involved in some of this stuff and making a little bit of cash on the side, unmarked cash that's not taxed, that you can just have pocket money around, and you're helping out with your friends, and you're doing business. And then you don't understand. These guys were running with the mob. You don't know what kind of favors they were asking of these people. It's just like back in the day, you would say, will somebody rid me of this priest? These guys want favors. They need things done. They need things covered up. So if they scratch your back, then you got to scratch theirs too. But a lot of this gambling stuff is an addiction. I have FanDuels and I've won money on it. And I'm glad I won some money, but that means I'm going to keep trying to win more. Eventually, that money I won, they're going to get it back. It's a hell of an addiction. So when you're a professional player and you can just throw the game, and then that'll help you clear up some of your debts that you have with some of these people. Yeah, you're in the hole with them 200,000-300,000, and they're like, look, shave some points on this one game or two games, and then we'll call it even. Because just like that NBA player just got arrested, the ex-NBA player got arrested by some marshals because he took out a VIG in Vegas and he didn't pay it. That's the same thing that's going on with the rest of these people, except they didn't use the police. But the mob, they got their own enforcers that come see you. Same thing. All these guys have a gambling problem because there's nothing else you can do with the money. Food doesn't cost that much. Clothing doesn't cost that much. You already have cars. So a lot of people just want to play poker. They want to go to Vegas. I remember looking at Charles Barkley, but I'm like, shut up, Charles. You've done it too. Shaq's done it. LeBron, bro, now that I'm thinking about all the times I seen bitch ass LeBron Because I'm an LA Lakers fan. I hate that he's on the Lakers. But when I seen LeBron flopping like a fish and the person didn't come nowhere near him, like a soccer player, just like he's dying, I'm disgusted by it. I'm like, why is he doing that? Now I'm understanding it. He told people, I'm going to be leaving the game early. I'm going to get injured out. I'm going to get pulled out. And people will literally make bets on that. They would bet on that and they would win big. If you could guess when a player, because you can bet on anything. If you can guess a certain player is going to get injured and you put a bunch of money behind it and it happens, it seems like it's just a fluke. But there would be a small percentage of people that would literally put up 200,000-300,000, and that would turn into millions. Now you're finding out that it's the refs, and it goes all the way up to Adam Silver. I remember Adam Silver when he was selling the making the guy forced to sell the Clippers because of some racism bullshit scandal, which I don't think he should have been able to do. This guy's always been a creepy, snaky, slithery dude, fining people for using curse words and all kind of frivolous nonsense. And they turned a blind eye, or they knew. This is what's pushing a lot of these leagues and a lot of these games. Because I'm like, wait a minute, how are they guessing these player props? If I bet you're going to hit 15, he gets to 14 and then he leaves the game in the third quarter? What are you talking about? He killed my whole parlay. Now you're noticing like they have algorithms and they can figure it out. They can tell who to shave what, where, and they can maximize their profitability. All of the sport, it's not just basketball. It's all rigged. What might not be rigged? Okay, tennis. But shit, if you pay a tennis player, you might be able to get them to throw the game or throw some stuff, but you don't know. All of it's corrupt because money's involved. Even with politics, you can't trust anything where money's involved at all. But I want to hear what this bald, long-faced alien with glasses of Adam Silver. I want to see what he has to say.
And Adam, yesterday, federal indictments were announced involving current player Terry Rozier and current head coach Chauncey Billups. What was your initial reaction, and what have the last 36 hours been like for you?
My initial reaction was I was deeply disturbed. There's nothing more important to the league and its fans than the integrity of the competition. And so I had a pit in my stomach. It was very upsetting.
And Terry Rozier was allowed to keep playing after an NBA investigation ruled that there was no NBA rules violated. What do you make of that decision now amid the FBI's allegations against him?
So what happened was, because bets were placed through legalized legal betting companies, they picked up aberrational behavior around a particular game in March of 23. And so that was brought to our attention by the regulators and the betting companies. We then looked into that situation and were very transparent about it. And while there was that aberrational betting, we frankly couldn't find anything. Terry at the time cooperated. He gave the league office his phone. He sat down for an interview. And we ultimately concluded that there was insufficient evidence, despite that aberrational behavior, to move forward. We then worked directly with the law enforcement, as they said at the press conference, that the league has been cooperating. And so that was obviously.
Let's stop it right here. I've watched this man do at least 50 press conferences over the past, 15 years. I've never seen this fucker stutter. I've never seen him unsure. I've never seen him this nervous. See, it's not necessarily what you say, but it's how you say it. This goes all the way up to him and above him. What people don't understand, bro, when you have money, you still have a bunch of problems. You just have different problems. You don't understand, these are men. It's easy to catch men up in scandals. It's easy. Y'all think the Epstein stuff is just for fucking politicians and scientists who created vaccines and they used it? No. It's for everybody with money. That's why you see a lot of women of prominence come up, because You can't really catch them up on sex-related charges. You can't use a woman to seduce her and say, "Oh, I'm a different age than I said I was," and "Oops, you're cheating on your wife." It's hard to catch women up like that. That's why you don't see women in a lot of scandals. But men, oh, men, we're easy. We're easy like Sunday morning. And this guy, obviously, somebody has something on him too. The mob probably has everything on everybody. Players, coaches. You gotta think about it. These are men that are on the road. Stephen A. Smith, he's not even an athlete. He's just a fucker that talks on the internet like Rico. And what did he say? I can't be faithful. I'm on the road 200 days a year. That means even he, as a sports commentator, is seducing or being seduced by women every night. So imagine being a player or a coach or a commissioner and you're making this kind of money, you're paying girls, you're doing this. You never know what kind of situation you can get into. It could be bad drug habits, it could be women, it could be a lot of different things. And again, somebody comes in that can help you rid yourself of this priest. And you're going to take the offer. All of these men are weak. All men are weak. Everybody has a vice. Shit, I used to, bro, do you understand? My gambling problem back during those days, I would say, look, I'm not spending no more than 1,000. I get to poker night, we're having fun. We're having a blast. We're sitting there playing. And there are beautiful women walking around that are the hostess, serving food, serving drinks. And that 1,000 turns into 5. This is per day. Per day. Imagine these guys that are millionaires. I'm a small business owner. These are multimillionaires, but they all have things going on in their personal life. They have all kind of secrets, and people got to help you with your secrets. You don't know and then now that this is all coming out, you're going to find out that there were secret children, affairs, allegations of sexual assault. You're going to find out everything. People like Shaq, they're going to bring up games that now you got to look at every game. Any mistake somebody made, any missed layup, missed free throw, any missed three-pointer, anything that's out of the ordinary now, you can say everybody's involved. Everybody's cheating. Just like it was hard to prove Terry was cheating, it's going to be hard to prove everybody else. But now everyone's just going to assume it's all rigged and fake. But if it is, so fucking what? Isn't this just for entertainment anyway? Isn't a movie entertaining? Who's in a movie? An actor? A man pretending to be another man. So these are athletes pretending to be people that are not being paid to throw games. I mean, it's all just for you to be entertained. Maybe you shouldn't bet on it. Or do you feel comfortable betting on something that's rigged? I don't know. How do you know? You don't know anymore. In my opinion, all this is fake. Football games, bro, you know how many games I've recently bet on, and it was a for sure game. And it's like somebody saw, like, wait a minute, Rico just bet on this. No. Make the other team win. And I'm thinking, like, how did they come back and beat? It was up there by 80 points. And I'm telling you, it's like the worst luck. Or it's not luck. It's literally strategy and people that can manipulate scores because they own the players. You got to think about it. With the wrong scandal coming out with your name involved, you're kicked out of the league. A gay scandal, I wouldn't say cheating, but anything. You're kicked out of the league because there's morality clauses. So you got to keep these secrets. And if somebody can hold something over your head, you're done. This Adam Silver, like I said, I never seen Adam Silver this damn nervous and just
over 2 years ago. So the federal government has subpoena power, can threaten to put people in jail, can do all kinds of things that a league office can't do. So we've been working with them since then. And of course, what they announced yesterday was an indictment. So 2.5 years later, he still hasn't been convicted of anything, in fairness to Terry. Obviously, it doesn't look good, but he's now been put on administrative leave. And so there's a balance here of protecting people's rights and investigating. And as I said, we've been working with the government, and they have extraordinary powers that a league office doesn't have.
And obviously, this story has taken some of the spotlight from what has been a really tremendous opening week. I know you have a lot of responsibilities as the commissioner, but you are also a fan of this league. What has made you excited about the season ahead?
Well, first of all, I should have started how excited we are to be on Amazon. I guess I wouldn't have predicted that my first interview ever on Amazon would be about sports betting, but I accept that. I mean, meanwhile, another great game tonight. The competition, I was in Oklahoma City opening night.
You know what? Just throw a little bit in there. If you look at Adam Silver, you can tell which country he's from, which background, and I'll give you a hint. It's the place that we cannot name. Isn't it crazy that somebody from there is involved in another scandal like this? What an odd coincidence. What an odd coincidence.
Overtime game there. I mean, I've been hearing from people throughout the league. I mean, I apologize to our fans that we are all dealing with now this situation, but in terms of the competition on the floor, it's been spectacular.
It certainly has, and hoping for another spectacular game and a long-standing rivalry. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
Back to you, Ian.
But the biggest story that we've had in a very, very long time, Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier were arrested by the FBI in separate gambling probes this morning. Ooh. Billups' arrest is related to an illegal poker games tied to the mafia, according to ABC News.
Whoa. Tied to the who?
The mafia. If Red Collect, the Bonanno, the Genovese.
Now everybody gonna play dumb. Like they all don't already know. Man, please. You know who had a really good, interesting take on this morning? It's somebody that doesn't. A lot of people don't like him because they don't like hearing the truth. I like him because he does tell the truth, and I shared his video this morning. Let me see here, and he had a really good take on it. That's the one that we're just watching. It should be. Now, this guy got arrested, a sports betting guru named Sugar. How does one become a sports betting guru? Do you just guess who's going to win, guess these things, or did you have some kind of insider trading tips? Because nobody can guess that good where they're going to call you a guru named Sugar. Got a little sugar in your tank, probably. That's probably what it is. This is definitely not a. And he was on his way to Colombia with a one-way ticket, but Colombia does have an extradition treaty with the United States, so that wouldn't be the best place to run if you're on the run. You might want to go to Bali or Indonesia, but not to Colombia. They'll come get you, or you'll be extradited back to the U.S. But actually, Mr. Jason Whitlock. Sorry, I was looking at a whole lot of stuff today. I usually try to share stuff on here, and then I just reference it and come back. But let's see here. Jason Whitlock. He was talking about the industry, about basically who runs it, who's in charge of it, and right here. Let's see what Mr. Whitlock has to say.
There was one of these investigators or assistant attorney generals that got up and spoke and was going over the details of these arrests and of this investigation. And he kept talking about the Gambino family, the Genovese family, and these Italian organized crime elements that they were proud and honored and enthusiastic about taking down. And I'm listening to it and I'm clapping. This is great. He's speaking boldly. And this is necessary. I think the sports world has been overrun with this gambling element that has been ushered in. But the other part of me was like, oh, this is an incomplete description of what's going on. This isn't just Italian organized crime. That just scratches the surface. That tells an incomplete story. This is about Black organized crime, Italian organized crime, and Jewish organized crime. But you can't say and you can't find a law enforcement official, a big high place one that I remember that's ever had a press conference and said, man, we're bringing down black organized crime. I don't remember.
He doesn't remember it because it never happened. You've never seen someone say, we're going to take down black organized crime because you'll be called racist. And you've never heard no one say, we're going to take down Jewish organized crimes because then you would be called anti Semitic. So that's why they keep on talking about Italians because they're considered white. And if you're a white American, somebody can threaten to kill you. They can say anything they want to about you. They can insult you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the internet, and nobody will care. But if you're black or Jewish, there's all types of deterrents to keep you from saying anything about them that's honest. So Jews are not white, blacks are not white. You can talk about whites, you just can't talk about blacks or Jews. And this is basically an organization ran by Jews and blacks. They appear to be white, but they're Jewish. That's just how it goes. Adam Silver, he looks white, right? You see him from a distance and you're black, you're like, oh, it's a white guy. He's not a white guy. He's Jewish. Big difference. Jason Whitlock is roundabout saying he's on TV. Rico's not. I'm on the internet. I don't have a contract, so I'm not bound by any clauses that I can't talk about certain things because of my sponsors. I barely have a couple of sponsors, and I'm not monetized. I'm just talking. I'm just sitting here having a conversation between me and you. That's what Whitlock is trying to say, is that there's a double standard because 2 out of 3 of the groups are a protected class that you can't speak about because they have terms for what they will call you if you do speak about them. So I'm glad that Jason Whitlock pointed that out. And that's probably why a lot of this stuff has been going unchecked for so long until now.
You guys hop in the chat. You guys email me. You guys hit me up on Twitter, where any high-ranking law enforcement official.
Oh yeah, and do me a favor, follow me on X on Twitter, the single boyfriend. Just go ahead and follow me on there, and I'll do more updates and then or the single boyfriend on TikTok too, or YouTube.
Ever held a press conference and said anything about black organized crime and we need to take it down and stop it. And then if you find that example, then I dare you to find the example where they talk about Jewish organized crime. Find me those examples. And so this isn't me in any way defending the Gambinos, the Genoveses, the whomever. This is me like, hey, why can't we tell the full story about what's really at work here? And if you look at the sports world, and if you look at the NBA, who runs the NBA? Who have been the commissioners of the NBA? Who are predominantly the owners of NBA franchises? Who are the people that have ushered in, and this is in the NFL as well, but not as pronounced, but who's ushered in all the gambling elements?
What remember Donald Sterling? Remember we talked about him earlier, who sold the Clippers because of some escort caught him saying some stuff that they thought was racist. What was his background? Where was Donald Sterling from? I wonder if anybody can guess. And it's crazy. He's actually from the same place as Sterling. I mean Silver. I'm sorry. That's a weird what a weird coincidence. I think Jason Whitlock is on to something. We're just not allowed to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it because I think it's interesting. Very, very interesting. Always some suspicious stuff going on with these people, but they're our greatest ally. But friends like this, who needs enemies?
And partnered with the gambling elements. And then who had the people that are primarily in control of the NBA? Who are their players? Who are the entertainers that they pay this large sums of money to entertain people on the court? And then who have those players befriended and operate with and watch the movies about and fantasize about being like them. This is a league dominated by Jews, players that are black, who think, many of them think because of hip hop culture, who think that they're Italian mafia bosses or black Italian mafia bosses. Who did LeBron James send a shout out to when he got released from prison? And I'm emoting.
You're talking about Big Meech. Yeah, what a weird thing for a professional basketball player who wasn't even, I don't even, he wasn't in the league. He was probably in elementary school when Meech, or if he was even in elementary school when Meech went to jail. So why was he shouting out a convicted drug dealer and, people died? Like, why do you want to be, why would you even want to talk to him? You're in a different world. What an odd person to shout out if you're LeBron James. But he's also wrapped up in all of this too. But he's right. A lot of these black ball players, they're wannabe Italian mob bosses. They all think they're living an episode of The Sopranos as they're doing layups. Like, it's crazy.
Right now, I'm thinking off the top of my head, but it was the dude from that they made the TV show Black Mafia Family, Big Somebody, that just got released from prison in Florida. Someone help me out here.
Big Meech, Larry Hua.
LeBron James sends a big shout out to him. I mean, this connection, this cabal is so obvious and so crystal clear, but no one wants to talk about it. Big Meech, thank you. Big Meech. This this story has so many legs, and it'll be interesting, very interesting, if ESPN allows this story to become pervasive. I was shocked listening to Stephen A. Smith 30 minutes ago, because Stephen A. Smith played the other card in this that I was like, oh man, only I'm going to address the Trump angle in this.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith was an idiot for that. Him and his fucked up hairline. Right when you think he's starting to get his mind right, he says some Trump derangement syndrome nonsense. Bro, do you know how long investigations last? This investigation started under the Biden regime, and you're pretending like Trump's coming for you. Like, it's like you're having nightmares about Trump, and it's amazing that he brought that up. But when I'm looking at all this, I bet you there's going to be I bet you, because if Adam Silver is nervous, then that means they got coaches, assistant coaches, and I bet you there's going to be one person who knows where all the bodies are buried. There's going to be one person that knows all the secrets. And I'll be honest, if it's one of those Italian guys, they don't have a problem snitching on blacks. They just can't snitch on other Italians. It's not going to be 30 NBA players arrested. It's going to be over 100 former and maybe a few current, because if these people are looking for immunity and they're going to want to, make a deal, they're going to go back to the 90s. Shit, it might be somebody in there that tells us the truth about what happened to Michael Jordan's dad. We might find out exactly what happened with those, because remember, Jordan's dad died from gambling debts. They said that's what happened to Bill Cosby's son too. You think the mob is playing? They're not playing. They're not playing games. Like I said, these are people that have a lot of money. You can't access the money all the time. There's too many questions. Or you just don't want to pay because you're an asshole. You have the money, but you're like, I don't see myself turning it over. And then also, a lot of people, they have a certain worth, but they don't have liquid. There's not $20 million liquid sitting around somewhere. They have to pull it out of investments and out of this and out of that and penalties. Sometimes you just need access to cash. That's why they're doing these little odd jobs on the side. If one person knows I bet you it's going to be one of these Italian, one of the high up dudes that's pulled in. I just wonder if it's going to be worth it for them. But I mean, what do they care? What do they care? A bunch of black dudes and a couple of Jews get in trouble. Who cares? And honestly, if it becomes too big, they're going to just have to let it go, because now you could probably get the whole league shut down. I'll be honest, the only people that might have been too afraid to get involved in anything illegal are going to be the foreign players. Joker, the dude that now plays in LA, Luca. I bet you certain foreigners are going to be the only ones that you find out aren't committing crimes because they respect the country. They don't want to get deported. And I bet you, and then they're playing for pride. They're not really paying for the money. But these Americans, brothers, the Jews, bro, please. And everybody probably did a couple of games where they knew about it and they didn't say nothing. It's going to implicate everybody. That's why Adam Silver, because my thing is this, why would Adam Silver care? You get a DUI, Adam Silver had nothing to do with that. What does he care? You got in some trouble, big deal. But if he's nervous, it's because he knows it's all going to unravel, and he's going to be sitting there, and they're going to be able to prove that he knew about all of it, and he was probably involved. This is going to be deep. This is going to go deep.
I'm going to do it from a perspective of applause. Donald Trump knows who his enemies are, and he knows where they're laundering their money, and he knows what entertainment institutions are being used to paint him as the worst person on the planet. It's these sports entertainment leagues, particularly the NFL and the NBA. And if you put a cabal of people together who think that they're victims, if you've ever watched this show and wondered why, like, man, Whitlock just beats us up with this Christianity deal and this.
No. I agree. That's why I put Whitlock on. He's cooking. Think about it. The two biggest victims in this country, people that always bring up slavery and people that always bring up the fucking Holocaust. Both are debatable. Both have questions. But I mean, I'll be honest, the Holocaust is probably a little bit more believable. But I'll be honest, it's up to interpretation. But those are the two biggest victims in the country, and those are now the two biggest players in this scandal. What are the odds?
Biblical worldview. Could he just give it a rest? Just someday. I want that old Whitlock back. Whitlock, talk about pussy galore. Talk about all that degenerate, unimportant, vile shit you used to do. We want that Whitlock back. And he's not coming back.
I'll be honest, I don't do pop culture. I could do a show about all the different rappers and talk about all their personal business and all the LA gang culture. Oh man, that stuff is so lame. It's like I don't even want to talk about it. I'd rather talk about things of substance. I just feel like it's a waste of my talent if I'm just sitting here talking about, BS pop culture nonsense that doesn't really mean anything. Doing hood reports. It's like it's just been done to death. So I feel Whitlock, he doesn't want to go back to doing that, talking about pussy galore. I'm like, yeah, I don't even make that kind of content. I do relationships and I do like big picture stuff, but as far as getting into the weeds, I've done it, but it's not necessarily my thing. So I understand where Whitlock's coming from on that too. And like I said, people don't like Whitlock. People probably don't like me. Some people tune into me just to see what I'm going to say because they're shocked that I'm even on here talking. In my day-to-day life, you wouldn't even think that I would even be involved in anything like this, But I am. Here I am,
I'm going to beat you over the head with the truth, uncomfortable truth. And I'm going to pay the price for it. And I'm willing to. This show, what I'm talking about, YouTube, all the algorithms will try to ignore what I'm sharing with you. The bigger picture perspective of all of this. But yeah, I'm going to start off by, and I got to thank our sponsors and do all that, but I want to get you warmed up for where we're going today. And games and the whole gang of you and the owners of those franchises that I'm persona non grata. I can't show up at an NBA stadium. Everybody must distance themselves from me. So yeah, Cash Patel, expose these people. Put it in everyone's face that these NBA players and many of these black professional athletes that want to run around with their little hip hop victim mentality. There go the bad guys. They're the real bad guys. They think I'm the bad guy. But those are the real bad guys. I have some lower level points here that I want to make because I've gone really big picture. But when I think about Chauncey Billups getting arrested, one of the first things, Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, all these guys getting arrested, one of the first things I thought about was like Gilbert Arenas.
That's, it's crazy. Gil was just bragging about snitching on the people who were involved in those poker games in LA. But like he made a big deal about it. Like, yeah, I'm snitching. I'm telling. He went on a tour, and now Gilbert Arenas is talking about I'm going to sue everybody that said I had something to do with snitching on. I'm like, bro, you admitted to being a snitch. I don't think that snitching has limits. Well, I'm gonna snitch on this, but I won't snitch on that. I mean, he's also a pro basketball player. He did a lot of idiotic shit. So him being involved in gambling and and point shaving, I wouldn't be shocked. And I wouldn't be shocked if they went to Gil for information and he probably didn't know anything, or what if he knew a little bit and he gave it up. And now he's threatening to sue content creators who are saying that because it's like a weird coincidence. But even though they were doing an investigation, but it's like now they're hitting these players, and Gilbert Arenas is literally just finishing a deposition, or he just got done being questioned. I don't know. People are noticing a pattern. I'm not saying he had anything to do with it, but I'm like, what a strange, another coincidence. Another one.
Gilbert Arenas got arrested a month ago and came out of jail telling everybody he's snitching on everybody. It play SOT 3.
To be honest, I don't know nothing to tell. I wish I did. Boy, because I would have been out like, soon as they put me in a car, if I'd have known something, I would have told right there. Shit, I don't know who y'all playing with. Dummy said, yet. Yes. He said I was a rat. Not yet. just give me time. just give me time. All right? Let me wait to see what the charges are, the real ones. And I'm gonna be honest with you. They don't even got to say 20 years. They can say 20 hours. 20 hours. That him right there. That's him. Yep. Yeah, I'll be thinking something wrong with snitching. Ain't nothing wrong. Get in there. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You see, when you see, you just run right out of the prison. Just right out of there.
It's a humorous point, but it's a serious point. A mentality, the type of ignorance, the fact that Gilbert Arenas, after nearly having a gunfight inside of an NBA locker room as a player, after identifying and revealing himself to be one of the lowest character individuals in NBA history, you got companies and sponsors rushing to be associated with Gilbert Arenas, rushing to elevate him. They had him on First Take and ESPN. His podcast is blowing up because it's getting all sorts of algorithmic support. Gilbert Arenas, I think was it Marcellus or someone was just about like, he's at the top of the sports YouTube success story. He's right behind Pat McAfee. This is not by accident. There's a corrupt culture at the heart of all of this that is elevating corrupt people. Don't miss a second of Fearless.
I see it. Absolutely right. I mean, the man literally bragged about snitching. Then he doesn't want nobody to say he's snitching. It's ridiculous. If you have any comments, like and subscribe, leave a comment. I want to hear your thoughts on this. I think so many people are involved in this. It's gonna be a whole sweep of the league. I mean, if you remove that many people from the league, are they going to have games? I mean, there's a lot of people involved, a lot. And then people can make it. People can accuse somebody of being involved, and they're not involved, and there's no way for them to prove they weren't if they made any mistakes or errors in the game. Everything's going to be up for question. The single boyfriend, right wing Rico. Leave me a comment. I'll be back again shortly.